Hello, hello! It is a very wet and misty day in Paris, and I had some errands to run in the fabric district because we are reupholstering a sofa in the apartment. I had to get some materials for that project. But as you may know, if you're in the fabric district in Paris, it puts you right in front of a very special landmark. So I thought that I would run up to Sacré-Cœur and do some videos and give you guys a little tour of Sacré-Cœur and that corner of Montmartre. So let's go. Sacré-Cœur is located in the heart of the 18th arrondissement in Paris, right on top of the butte or hill of Montmartre. Sacré-Cœur in French means Sacred Heart, and it is a basilica dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Because it's on top of the hill, it can be seen from a surprisingly large amount of Paris, so it's actually a great way to help you navigate around. If you can see Sacré-Cœur, you know that that is the north of the city. I'm being a little naughty and I've gotten myself an almond croissant. So since I'm being a little naughty with my calories, I'm going to skip taking what I would normally take to go up to Sacré-Cœur, the funicular. This is an inclined railway. It's a funicular that goes right up the hill, almost all the way to Sacré-Cœur, and it cost one metro ticket, which they've just raised the price to $2.50, so $2.50 to go up the hill. However, like I said, since I'm splurging on my calories with this, I'm going to walk up the hill today and try to get some lovely views of Sacré-Cœur in the meantime. Sacré-Cœur sits 200 meters above the level of the Seine. That's about 650 feet. So it is a little bit of a hike up the hill. The funicular is a very easy solution if you're not feeling particularly sporty. However, on any given day, you'll see many Parisians, even in the dead of winter like now, jogging up and down the steps near Sacré-Cœur. It's a really popular workout destination. I guess it depends on if you want to wear shorts in January or not. So I don't normally do any kind of heads up warning videos because Paris is actually a very safe city. But I do just want to mention, if you see these guys behind me, there's always a few guys kind of waiting in front of Sacré-Cœur, in front of the steps. And they are not dangerous. I want to say they're definitely not dangerous. They are scammers though, because what they want to do is grab you and put a bracelet on your wrist, and then they will try to get you to pay for the bracelet. So if you're at Sacré-Cœur, if you see them, just walk past, don't talk to them, don't engage, and you'll be fine. In 1870, shortly after the defeat of the French in the Franco-Prussian War, Félix Fournier, the Bishop of Nantes, proposed a new church to be built on the butte of Montmartre because his feeling was that the French had lost the war due to moral backsliding since the Revolution. Today, Sacré-Cœur and its surroundings are the second most visited landmark in Paris after, you might have guessed it, the Eiffel Tower. You can really see why when you start to walk up this hill and see these stunning views looking out over all of central Paris. This fountain is a great place to sit and rest about halfway up. You can make friends with a crow before you continue on up the hill. The last steps are a little narrow, but still very easy to walk up, and finally reach Sacré-Cœur on the top. Even in the fog, there's a truly spectacular view of Paris from up here on Montmartre. I should probably tell you the story of why it's called Montmartre, or the Mountain of Martyrs. The story, the legend is that Saint-Denis, when he was decapitated by the Romans down there on the Île de la Cité, which is the ancient heart of Paris near Notre Dame, he took his head in his hands and walked all the way up here to the current site of Sacré-Cœur before finally giving up the ghost. Now, I personally find this story a little bit hard to believe, not because of the decapitation and the walking and the miracle of being able to walk around carrying your own head, but just that anyone would choose after being decapitated to head directly up this hill, I find a little suspicious. If you don't want to do the hike, right over there is the top of the funicular, right where those taxis are. And just up here is Sacré-Cœur, so that's a lot more manageable if you're not a stairs-oriented person. The basilica was designed by Paul Abadie, who designed it in the Neo-Byzantine Romanesque style. His proposal was selected from among 77 different proposals for the church, and construction began in 1875. Construction continued for another nearly 40 years under 5 different architects until 1914. The basilica wasn't consecrated, however, until 1919 after World War I. Like most churches in Paris, it is free to go in. You just have to walk through a small security checkpoint and then onto the beautiful porch. Here's another great view looking out over the city. I love looking out from here. Then you can continue on into the basilica. The thing that really strikes me every time I come into Sacré-Cœur is the height. It's just so tall, and the way it's built, the lines that carry your vision upwards just really accentuate that. There's also the beautiful stained glass windows, which are quite high, close to the roof. Again, bringing your vision upward, bringing all the focus upward, accentuating that height. And of course, there's the main focus of the sanctuary, which is this stunning mosaic. This mosaic is one of the largest in the world. It's 475 square meters. It's titled The Triumph of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and it contains over 25,000 enameled and gilded pieces of ceramic. There are so many details and figures to see in this mosaic. You can see some contemporary 19th century people, as well as biblical figures and historical figures, and a figure of God that looks slightly reminiscent of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You can get a closer look at some of the incredible mosaic work in the church with these 2 baptismal fonts that are closer to the entrance. Something I always think about when I come into a church like this is that it must be amazing to be one of the people that has access to the upper walkways. I did a tour of the Dome and St. Paul's Cathedral in London, and it was absolutely incredible, and I can only imagine what it must be like here. Something I think that's really unique about Sacré-Cœur is the chapels. They all have really interesting themes. This one was sponsored by the French Navy, so it has a nautical theme all around. You can see up on the walls there are 2 nautical themed mosaics. There is Jesus saying to the disciples, "Come and be fishers of men," on the edge of the Sea of Galilee. And there's this one that shows the miracle of Jesus walking on the water. Right now they're doing a little bit of upkeep and restoration work in the sanctuary here. So as you're walking around the back of the chapels, you can also see a little bit of an inside view into the scaffolding. I didn't quite catch it on camera, but I did get to watch someone doing some cleaning and refinishing on the main altarpiece. And speaking of coming around towards the side of the church, you can see the massive north dome that dominates the nave area. This symbolizes the celestial world, resting on a rectangular space symbolizing the terrestrial world. There are columns that join the 2 worlds together and represent the passage between the 2 worlds. Something they have now at Sacré-Cœur that is new, that is not there the last time I was here several years ago, is a self-guided audio tour. There are different signs all around the sanctuary that have a QR code on them, and all you have to do is scan the QR code with your phone, and then it plays a 20-minute tour that goes all around the interior of the basilica. I really enjoyed the tour. In fact, I even wish it had been a little bit longer. On the audio tour, I also learned about what is now my favorite chapel in the basilica, the Queen's Chapel. This chapel is dedicated all over with images of the queens of France. There are mosaics of queens on the walls. There are beautiful stained glass windows depicting queens and Mary in the center. The idea is that the queen is not a female version of a king, but in medieval times she was meant to be the person who intercedes for mercy on behalf of the people with the king. And that's similar to the idea of how Mary is supposed to intercede for the human race in heaven. In fact, the longer you stand in front of this chapel, the more queens you find, like these hidden stealth queen statues down here underneath the bottom of the altar. In the middle of it all is Sainte Radegonde, who was Queen of the Franks. She founded the Abbey of the Holy Cross at Poitiers and obtained a relic of the actual Holy Cross to be kept there. The abbey is still growing strong today since its foundation in 552. And near the Queen's Chapel is the thing I must find in every church I go to in France. It's the obligatory Jeanne d'Arc statue. I can now cross Sacré-Cœur off my Jeanne d'Arc bingo card. It's amazing when you walk out the doors right onto this view. Well, that was so much fun. Sacré-Cœur is such an amazing place. You can see the back view just behind me here. And one thing that I really love about it, I think makes it really unique in Paris, is that because it's a late 19th century church, you can really see how it has a lot of the same style and architectural detail as the medieval churches, but you can also see what makes it different. And it's really interesting to go somewhere like Notre Dame and then to go to Sacré-Cœur and to compare and contrast. But anyway, as I attempt not to get run over by a motorcycle right here, I have got to walk back through Montmartre. We are having a party for a few of our friends tonight because we just haven't seen anyone in ages. I've been so busy in December that I haven't seen anyone around. So I'm gonna go do some grocery shopping and start getting ready for the party. And I think I will leave it here for today, but please do subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already, because that is very, very helpful and very, very free. And please do like this video because that is also both of those good things. And also a big thank you to our patrons, because your patrons support this channel and support us and what we're doing at Everdeen, and just you guys are the best. So thank you patrons. We sending you big hugs. And with that, I will see you guys next time.